seems fine now. Now I'll start with creating a second app, which is student attendance system. This will be of a similar kind, but you'll let's explore a new topic. So for that I have opened a folder, but this has to do application. See, this has to do application. Now what should I do? Should I create a new folder over here? So I previously told, right, we can create a new folder from here, but you can still create a folder from here. So the command is simple: mkdir project. So what does mkdir mean? It means make directory, which means it creates a folder. See, you can check it. mkdir project. So it got created. See, this is the new project. So what should I do? cd mkdir, which means I'll enter the directory. I'll install everything in the directory, and that's an isolated one, right? Okay. That's fine. If it doesn't work, I'll directly open from here. So what should I do again? I should open a terminal. Okay, I don't have Flask install. Okay, I install it. So the terminal, right? Install Flask. So basically, when we are starting a Flask project, what we need to do? We should create a folder, right? Which is templates. So within this folder, we should not create anything. So templates folder and static folder should be isolated. Like both should be separate. And an app.py. App.py. Okay, I'll give you two choices. You can select any one project, so I can explain that. So should we discuss a gallery management system which deals with images and everything, or should we discuss about student attendance system? It depends on your choice. Like whatever you say, I'll do that. I'll explain that. Like any answers, what you need, which kind of project? Yeah, I got a bit cold, so my voice is not so clear. Is it okay now? Okay, I'll ask in the group. Should I keep a poll? Or just raise your hands who all need uh, image gallery management system. Okay. Who needs student attendance management system? Okay, I can't decide because I got a single vote from each of you. Okay, let me try to cover both the things. I'll start with image gallery management system. Sorry guys, actually you need to adjust a bit because my voice is not so clear due to the cold. Okay, that's why I'll start. What does that need? Image management system also needs a folder called uploads. If we are dealing with images, it needs to get stored somewhere, right? So you can create a folder within this, like static files, all uploads, videos, and like videos, images, text files, everything will be inside the static, right? If you are more specific about the routes, like I don't want within static, I want within uh, I want a separate folder outside static or templates, so I can create here also. It is nothing but just to specify the route where it is exactly. So before getting started, I should also install our database, right? So any answers, what our database is, what are we using in Flask? Any answers? What database are we using? Are we using SQL or MongoDB?
To store the data.
Yes, storing the data. Like what database are we using? Any guesses? SQL, MySQL, or SQLite, SQL Alchemy?
SQL Alchemy.
Exactly. So we need to install it, right? Okay, I made a mistake. I haven't activated the virtual environment. Okay, I'll do it first. Okay, I guess no one is facing problem with the setting up virtual environment, right?
No, sir.
That's great. So that will be the only starting problem. If that is cleared, then everything will be fine. Yeah. See, I need to install two packages, right? So I can give both of them in a single line, or there is another approach for that. So first I'll show this and later I'll show the another approach. And we also install Flask uh, WTF to handle the form submissions. And there is another library which is some random name, like not so easy to spell, workzoo, like it handles the potential except errors. So I'll click enter and it should install everything line by line. If I don't want to give that way, if I want to simplify the thing, what I need to do, I should create a folder. I should create a file which is a text file, requirements.txt, and specify what all I need. I need Flask, I need Flask SQL Alchemy, I need Flask WT, Flask WTF. And what if I want to install all of this at once? So I need to specify, I need to run this command, Python, sorry, not Python, pip install Previously we installed everything individually, right? But here what we are doing, -r, which means it specifies that is text file requirements.txt. So if I click enter, these all are already installed, so it doesn't show requirement already satisfied. If it's new, it then installs. If it already exists, it shows this way. So all my requirements are satisfied. Now let's proceed with programming. So in templates I need files, right, which means HTML files. I'll have an index.html. Okay, up till now index.html is fine. So let's add few other if depending on the requirement. From Flask import Flask. Okay, this is our first library we import every time. And next one is SQL, no, Flask SQL Alchemy import SQL Alchemy. Okay. See, why is it showing light green color? Just because we haven't used it yet. So if we use it, it will change into this color only. Don't worry about the color. I'll come back again when we start using it. So what next? We need to initialize the application, right? App equal to Flask name. So this is basic, like we do it for every Flask application. We need to initialize it. And this is also another configuration, few configurations. If you can't remember, you can write it somewhere, because we use it for every Flask application. Whatever we do, we use it here. What am I doing? I'm setting up the database. Like the database will be created within this project, right? So I need to specify the file name. So this is also a syntax where a single mistake also leads to error, like database database will not get created. I need to do this brackets, square brackets. Is equal to, actually we will find this in Flask documentation, like SQL Alchemy documentation, SQLite. And don't worry if it is very large, like complex to understand. It's available everywhere, so you can take from them. So this is my database name. Whatever I give here, after running all the commands, it will get created here. I'll get a new instance folder automatically after running the script, and then later I'll get a table inside the instances, which is gallery.db. And what next? As we are dealing with images, we need an uploads folder, right? So I have already created that, but I need to specify it, right? I need to specify it, right? So for that also I should write app.config load folder. So if you are dealing with images, so in previous class I haven't used any image, so that's the reason I didn't even use this statement. But here we are dealing with images, right? So we'll use this. So here I need to give the path. Okay, for now, as I have mentioned, I will stand on my word. I'll put this inside the static, because as we know, images will be inside static only, right? So static why didn't I give any slash over here? Because static exists within the root directory, right? So here I'm specifying the location. This uploads. Next, have.config. So this is just in order that it prevents any potential warnings. SQL Alchemy track modifications, we need to set it false. Even if we don't write this statement also it runs, but it's a good practice to write because it shows a warning while we are executing. Like in this color, in red color, it shows a warning. It's not a good practice. So I'll set it false so that it doesn't show any warnings while executing it. So the next step, which is the main one, initializing a variable which acts as a medium between our backend and our database, which is so what is this? It acts as a medium between our backend and database. So we keep on using this everywhere in the code. I'll show it. Okay. So as we'll create the schema, right? So I'm using the schema. Here, image is table name. You can name it anything, but I have named it image. Gallery have images, right? So I have named it image. So what we are trying to do in this application basically, we upload an image and we also give it a title and a label, a category. Like if I have a big data set, right? I label the data cat1, cat2, cat3, cat4, and then I'll put in a category cats. So I also have dogs. So I'll name them and I'll put it in category dogs. So if we want to retrieve like what image this is and from which category it belongs, it tries to retrieve the same. So we'll understand step by step. db.column. So as table has rows and columns, this is a structured query language. Like it uses a table to store. I'm initializing a column, which is should be db.integer. Basically, id deals with integers, right? Integer, and it is a primary key because we don't hard code it directly. id1, id2, id3. It automatically takes. So it auto increments the thing. I'm making it a primary key. Primary key equal to true. Need to set it true. We won't have this overhead when we are using SQL directly because we need not create everything. We need not give everything as commands. Just if we have some basic idea of executing the commands, no, like in SQL, what all the key commands like create a table, alter a table, update, select, delete. If you know those, we can directly use it over there. But here we are using the database which is provided by Flask. So that's the reason we need to do all these steps. So what is the title? It's also a column. So what kind of data type it is? It is a string. So for string I need to specify some length. I'll give it 100. Unnullable equal to false, which means if I don't enter a value for title column, it will not accept because it shouldn't accept as it is invalid thing. It should not have any null values. Category db dot column. Save and nullable equal to false. So I'll have another one, which is file name. See, here initializing few variables. Like for save side, I gave three variables, which we may or may not use. But for save side, I have given them. Even if we don't use them, it doesn't create any trouble. But I'm just adding an extra variable if it helps us somewhere. So what next? We have initialized the database schema. So we'll create a root. This is the default one. Function inside this. We name our home page as index.html, right? So I gave it as index only instead of giving home or anything. Okay. What should it do exactly? And what all roots we need? Okay, it will be return something. So I'll create another root which should fetch the images, right? So I'll name it as gallery. Let's discuss what it does later. No, I shouldn't give column. Okay. So let's check if it works good. So did I miss anything? Check. Okay. I got instance folder here. Shows something because it redirects to the default root. And what if I give gallery here? Yeah, it's working fine. It's working fine. Okay. I will start with the HTML part. You have extensions already installed. You can directly click on this, and this will give you a boilerplate. So how it looks like actually, how our application should look like. As we have specified, like we created a table, right? It has uh, three attributes, which is we enter the name, we enter the category, and we upload the image. So here also we do the same thing. Like if you want to upload an image to Drive, what we give? We don't give anything explicitly. We just pick an image and upload it. But here, as we are doing it from scratch, we need to do everything manually. So what we'll have? We'll have three things. h1 tag, load image. So to submit the to upload anything, I should have a form, right? Action equal to so why should my method be post? My method should be post because I'm taking the input from user directly. So it is not storing somewhere in the URL. So it should be post. And I should also specify this enc type because I'm dealing with images, right? You got the recommendation, I'll use it directly. So what next? I have an input. Specify the type what it is. It should be text because here I should give title. Name equal to title. So I'm not focusing much on the front end part. I'm making it simple. Like not even I'm using Bootstrap. But it's suggestible to make your front end a bit better because someone first watches the front end part, right? Like how it looks, and then they'll decide, okay, this website is good or not. So due to time constraints, I couldn't do that. Which means it's mandatory to have this. So what next? We have category, right? Image category. So this is image. It doesn't need anything, but except the name. And type also should be a file because we will be uploading a file, right? And it is also required. We are using an inbuilt thing which is accept, which means it should not, as we have suggested, as we have give file here, right? So it might take anything. It might take a PDF or it might take an audio, it might take a video, but it should not take anything except image. For that you need to give image. So now it takes only the image files. And I should have submit button. Okay, I'll check it how it works. This is the basic thing. Like I'm not focusing much on the UI. Better thing I'll use a break statement so it looks a bit better. Okay, it looks a bit better now. Start with my root, which is the default. So here what I did, I had the method as post, right? Like the action is the main index file should perform this method. I'm not having any other file inside the index file, right, which does this thing. So we should also specify this as post. Both get post. Should not return this. Yeah, actually it should return a template, right? Render, like it should it should return the HTML file, right? Input it. So here I took two methods, which is get and post. So if request method is post only, then it should accept the image. Otherwise, it should not. Okay, you should also import request. So you need not import everything as static only. Depends on your requirements. You can import it later also, just like how I'm doing it. And type. I'll use a variable. So what should I do? I'll take this from form, which I'll submit in the HTML. Request dot form. Not this. This should be the name which we give over here. So in previous class I made a mistake, right? Not taking the name. I took ID and class, but I didn't specify name, so it showed me an error. So I should use a name, and what if I give capital T here, I should also use capital T over here. But I used small t, right? It doesn't like I'm using the same thing over here. Category. Request form, request from form, and image. Actually, we need to make it files, as the image is a file. So these both are text, and we use form here, but for image we use file. If image exists or if image is true, I should perform few tasks. File name is. I'm giving it extra security, because if someone gets to know the file name, no, they can misuse it. Image to file name. Okay, why is it showing error? Should I import anything? Okay, I used a folder, right? Sorry, I installed a library, right? So I'll use it from where? Okay, got it here. Q file name. And also I need to import another like file, not file, library, which is import OS, because we'll be working directly with these internal folders, right? So that's the reason we need OS folder, OS library here. So we'll get to know why we are doing it. Okay, I'll use OS over here. Load folder. So why should I do this? I'll explain it shortly. So why I'm doing this? I gave my folder as I gave this path, right? If it doesn't exist, what happens? So I'll check for that. If it exists, only then run this. Otherwise, the program will stop over here only. It won't proceed to other steps. So what next? We need to save the image, right? Whatever the user gives, we need to save the image. So where should we save it? We need to specify the path. Gave it previously. Upload folder. If you get stuck somewhere, please let me know. I'm going in the flow, thinking that you might understand this. If you get stuck somewhere, please let me know. If some things are confusing you, then let me know. What should it do? It should upload in the database, right? So I'm using this for this. See, image is nothing but our class name. Title equal title. So here you can see the color changes because we have used it. So it adds a new image to the database. So it should commit the changes, right? Anyway, so I need to use this function. Okay. So if it goes into some error, it should redirect to the directory, or if the file gets uploaded, it should redirect to the root, right? So I'll give should redirect to. Okay, I haven't put this right. It's fine. It's fine till now. Run it. Okay, I should also give gallery. Okay, let's check gallery also. We created a root, right? But we also need a HTML file here for gallery, specifically for gallery. So let's create that also. Gallery.html. So what should a gallery show? In the form we are uploading the images, right? But in gallery it should show in gallery it should show all the images. So what should it do? It should fetch all the images, right? So it needs a structure. That's the reason only I'm giving HTML file. So here also I'll use the boilerplate offered by, I'll offer the, I'll use the template offered by this one. Okay. So I'll set a header which is your images gallery. So here also I'll use a form tag. Why I'm using get method here? Just because I'm getting it from the database, right? Like wherever it gets stored. So I should retrieve it. To retrieve, we are using the get method. To submit, we'll use the post method. Action. What is the action? So I can directly give it gallery, but as we are retrieving this, giving it slash gallery doesn't make it efficient when there is a lot of load. So that's the reason I'm using URL for gallery. It's a better approach than the previous one. Like especially for this, we should use this kind of things. What? Why am I using a select tag? Because I told you previously, right? We'll be filtering the images based on the category it is. Here we are using a JavaScript attribute on click or on change. We'll use on change. Okay, it assigns it as directly. So these things won't be static. I'll be selecting them from I'll be selecting dynamically what all I give. So that's the reason I'll keep it null, because I'll take it dynamically, right? How can I take it dynamically? I should loop through the statements. Okay, for that I need to write the root, which is gallery dot no, which is the gallery root. What will it have? It will have a category, right? Category, we need to filter it. Already we have category variable. I'll use category filter. So these are the basic syntaxes. Actually I'm using it directly. Category filter exists only then it should filter the images. So what does this mean? I'm not giving anything is equal to true or anything. What does it take default? If it is true or false, it decides based on the availability. it should show an error, or it shouldn't show an error. If it exists, it should show something, or it should return all the images. Which should push the changes into database. Which means it should push all the changes, whatever they are done, it should push everything. So it should not return directly gallery. I will use render template. Return everything, right? We also use this category is equal to. So this is an interesting part here. We'll use the 0th index, like I'll discuss it more better. So for now I'm just briefing it. So what it exactly does, for C in categories, we'll have different types of categories, right? So from all the categories, it takes the 0th index, like the first index, whatever it has in the first index. It might have a list of elements, right? So it takes the first element of the list and it returns. So for now both the things are done. So here I should also specify, it should execute the gallery creation. I mentioned this in previous class, like the database should be accessible within the file and no external people can access it. If we don't creates all the tables and the database which we need, create all, so I think everything is set right now except the gallery.html. Okay. So what should we show over here? Let's check. Okay, we open a select tab. Yeah, it should loop through every category. We gave it as a for loop, right? Here also we'll give it as a for loop only. So whenever we are using looping statements or anything, we'll specify in these two, like we'll use this syntax. If we use Python inside HTML, we should use this. So let's keep in attention. It doesn't matter if it won't even keep. If statement. It might be confusing when we are at the starting stage, but if you keep on creating project like this, it will get easier for you. It's showing red here. Let's check if we get any error. For now it's fine. We want to print a statement. That's the reason we are doing all these things. Yeah, open if statement. So when we are using inside HTML, we need to first open it and then close it, just like the tags. And here I'll again close this for loop after the successful completion. So I haven't closed the option tag. Okay. Is it making any difference here? Let's see if we get an error. Let's rectify. And within this, I should write the category. So we'll end the for loop here. Okay, let's run this and see. Yeah, we got the database created. The database is created. ID, title, category, and file name. No, no. Actually, I should access this port. Image one category. Okay. This 26, line 26. Okay. What did I give? I gave image here, but I used images. Okay, that's the error. That's fine. It should work now. Page 34. Choose. Okay. Which if we got it saved or not. There is nothing. Something is stopping. Got the image right. We can see the image before. We don't have any, but we got the image, but it is messing up with the extension, I guess. Like PNG files are not taking. We got the image, like it is successfully uploaded, but it is not getting saved. It's fine. So after uploading, should I redirect to anywhere? We'll check it. Yeah, I'm redirected to gallery. So everything in gallery is perfect. Let's check. Okay. Okay, till here it is okay. But I need to show the images right. I haven't enabled that. here I am printing image name everything dynamically. So from the images variable which is in app root, I mean gallery root, I'm looping through it and I'm taking the image name, image title, and in the similar way I should also take the image which is uploaded. Yeah, I messed up with this. I haven't gave this yet. I haven't given this yet. Yes, image dot. Should save it somewhere, right? File name. And I should specify the width, how much the image width should be. Let me take it 200. Okay. Set. Next category. This is also we are taking from the backend only. And will end the for loop. C mirror, C mirror. So I think there is some mistake in the front end only. Is it showing red tags here? Okay, here also. Actually, it worked when I ran myself, but it's not working. me check. We have this, no new ones. Yeah, I got it actually. But there is some mistake in the code, I guess. Small error which is not executing it properly. Correct it. Okay. Let's try to find the error. Yeah, actually I should give another route, which is to save the uploads, right? To give a route. I think it should work now. File name. So let's check if it works. That's great. So previously I have uploaded few images to test. So it worked, and now I'll test it again. Like I added, right, it got saved, but due to the error it didn't get displayed. But now the images got displayed. The UI could have been better, but now it's fine. I can filter. So I gave test. So what I have done here, I took it dynamically, right? So that's the reason whatever I add, it keep on adding over here. So if I click on old, it shows this. It shows this and show it. So in gallery.org. So here you can see this. They got stored. So that's it. I missed this part. This part, it is the key one. Like the images should be stored, right? I missed this part and everything is fine. So that's for the day, guys. Let's catch up with a new project next day. And thank you all. Hope this is clear to you.